take a hike, rejecting an invite from Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell for the president to meet with GOP members on this debt limit. The White House saying that it's not a conversation worth having. Republican Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson among the targets of that presidential snub. Senator, how do you feel?
Well, Neil, I guess snubbed a little bit. It is unfortunate. I think that was a very, real and genuine invitation that Leader McConnell gave to President Obama, and to be snubbed like that way really does kind of show the negotiations obviously aren't going well, and that's a shame.
What do you make of the fact that the president's busy fundraising today in Philadelphia, but only a day after saying this in a White House press conference? Let's take a listen.
They're in 1 week, they're out 1 week, and then they're saying Obama's got to step in. You need to be here. I've been here. You stay here. Let's get it done.
And he's in Philadelphia tonight.
Right. Well, the president kind of has a history of saying one thing and doing the exact opposite. So, bottom line here is, I said, what, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, that on this whole debt ceiling issue, on the fact that we're bankrupting America, and the president has been phoning it in. He hasn't been involved in any direct talks. He sends his vice president out to do some sporadic negotiations that really went nowhere. My bottom line, I think all he's doing is running for president. And I don't quite understand why, Neil, because the primary job description of president is leading. And this president, unfortunately, and it's very unfortunate, this president is not leading on this issue at all.
This party event the president's at in Philadelphia, we're showing a podium there. We're big on podiums, Senator, just so you know. But one of the things the president will be big on telling this every partisan crowd is that he runs into resistance with you guys, and that maybe the explanation for not taking Mitch McConnell up on his invite to speak with the Republican leaders on the Hill is that you guys are just going to recite everything you're against, and that there's no added wisdom in that. What do you make of that?
Well, the only thing we're against is any kind of policy that would harm economic growth. We realize we need new revenue, but we need to increase revenue the old-fashioned way by growing our economy. The worst possible thing we could do in this weakened economy is increase tax rates, and that's all this president wants to do. That's what the Democrats want to do. They want to engage in class warfare. And Neil, I don't see how class warfare helps our economy at all. What class warfare does, it dispirits the productive members of our society. And let's face it, we need to incentivize people to achieve their maximum potential. That's what made America great. So increasing tax rates is the wrong thing to do. It's the wrong prescription.
What about simplifying things? In other words, getting rid of, allowances and breaks and some of these stuff that companies enjoy. Maybe getting rid of, write-offs that the oil companies and the biofuel companies enjoy. You would be against that if that was part of the mix?
Well, I voted against ethanol subsidies. I'm all for major structural reform to our tax code. That 70,000-page thick document, I want to see that thing slimmed down. I'm a small to medium-sized business person. That's been my background. I never lobbied for any special tax treatment. I'd like to wipe all that out. I'm not for crony capitalism, but we do need to maintain legitimate business deductions, and an awful lot of stuff that the Democrats attack as subsidies are just simply legitimate business deductions. So we don't want to attack those things, but I'm absolutely for, and I think Republicans are for, real structural tax reform. That would be an incentive, because it costs $300 billion a year to comply with the tax code. That's almost 15% of revenue. That's ridiculous.
Senator, thank you. Good seeing you again.
Thanks for having me on.
Meanwhile, Texas Governor Rick Perry telling me that he likes to go to California, and today more proof